Yo, what's up? What's happening, people? Welcome to not another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. This is not an episode; it's another Q&A. This is the second time we're doing it this week because it's backed by popular demand. Y'all ask, so I'm here giving it. All right. Today we are going to be talking about questions and answers to those questions, as long as they pertain to fitness, as long as they pertain to fat loss. Right. So if there's anything that you want to know from an IFBB pro, okay, and you want to learn, this is your opportunity to hop on the mic, ask me a question, and have me answer you live and direct. All right. So, one thing I want to let y'all know, if you're watching this now on whatever social media platform, hashtag I'm here if you're here watching this live with me, or hashtag replay if you're watching this on the replay on whatever social media platform you're watching this on. All right. So, without wasting any time, we're going to get into it. I've got a couple of questions off rip that I know you guys will love to hear the answers to. So, I'll be getting to that first, but again, you are all more than welcome to ask questions as we go along the podcast, not the podcast, but as we go along the live stream episode today. All right, so it's a fat loss Q&A. Let's break it down. I'm just resetting up on live on Instagram because that motherfucker was glitching. Hopefully, it's not glitching anymore. Yeah, you see, I hoped for no reason because now it's just glitching even harder. Don't know what the deal is, but that's cool. Anyway, y'all let me know. How's your day going so far? How is your day going so far? Brandy Slavin says, "You sound like Preacher Lawson." I don't know who that is, but I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. All right. Honestly, this phone is bugging out. So I'm going to try this one. We're going to see if we can get live on Instagram on this phone over here. Okay. Again, forgive me for the delays, but shit happens. Technology isn't always perfect. So bear the fuck with me and then we'll dive into some questions. But again, y'all are more than welcome to ask questions throughout this episode. I will be answering everything live and direct. Usually I don't do that, but today that's the main intention. Okay? So strap up. I'm going to open up the comments over here and let's see if we can get everything rolling on Instagram. Q&A. All right, let's see if this is going to actually work. I hope this works because if it doesn't, that's just going to be a pain in the ass. Deadrat underscores 711 says, "Hey, what's up? Give me a random number. Number is 7. Number is 7. That's your random number." All right, people. Looks like we're rolling on Instagram. Let's get it done. So I've got some questions and I've got some answers to these questions as they pertain to fat loss. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk about with you guys and girls, and I think I talked about it a little bit, in the last Q&A we did, but I still did see the questions pop up, which is, how do I burn fat while still eating foods that I enjoy? And like that's pretty broad, isn't it? Like foods that you enjoy. What do you mean by that? I'm not talking about the foods that you enjoy that are healthy. I'm talking about the foods that you enjoy that you know aren't healthy. And believe it or not, you can still keep them in your nutrition protocol if your main goal is just fat loss. If you're not like trying to be a professional bodybuilder and you don't really care about getting godly shredded, then you can actually incorporate junk food into your nutrition protocol. And I mean, even if you are a bodybuilder, you still can eat junk food, right? But the way, or the question, I guess, is how to do it. And today, I guess, one amongst many questions, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do it. So the way that I do it with myself and with my clients that are, that have a sweet tooth or that do eat junk more frequently than not, is this is how we lay it out. So they would have a like very simple nutrition protocol. They'll have two, one for the days that they train and one for the days that they rest. And like, why do we do that? Why do we have two separate nutrition protocols at the Natural Nomad Academy? It's very simple because we don't burn the same amount of calories on a day that we rest versus the day that we train. So that means if we want to be able to see linear progress, we're going to have to compensate for the days that we are not in the gym, which is rest days, which means we compensate by reducing the calories just a little bit, typically dropping some extra carbs, but keeping the protein the same or increasing it to increase satiety. It's essentially how full you feel with less calories. Okay. So that's the first thing. Make sure you have two nutrition protocols, one for training day, one for rest day, and that they're different. Training day is higher calories, a little bit more carbs. Rest day is equal amount of protein, if not higher, but way less carbs, so that you can balance out the days that you aren't burning as many calories. Okay, so that's the first thing. All right. And the second thing on top of that is to be consistent with it, because when you are consistent with it, you'll see the results. And only after you apply the results should you really start to look around for some extra freedom. i.e., factoring in macros, which is essentially how we even get the junk food in the system and still get you progress. So, how do we do that? How do we factor in macros? So, if you listen to step one and you're consistent with it and you are able to, get your results from it, then you'll have a system or at least a network of foods that you already like that you can prepare at home, that you season well, that are clean foods that that are not junk food. And if you have those foods in your arsenal, then you're lucky. And because you know what you like and you know the portions that you'll need in order to continue to see success or progress in your fitness journey, fat loss journey. And so it really just comes down to the point of replacing one meal or two meals, or at least their caloric value and their macronutrient value, and replacing it with whatever junk food that you can get. And when you're replacing it, of course, you cannot be 100% perfect because, first of all, you aren't even preparing the meals, right? If you go to the junk food spot, they are preparing it for you. So when it comes to the actual size of the burger patty or the amount of bread you're getting from the burger bun, like it's not 100% accurate. And even if it was, if you're factoring it in, it might not even fit perfectly in terms of like a perfect puzzle fit into your either one of your nutrition protocols, right? So the whole trick here is to factor in that one meal, that one junk meal, but still have your total amount of calories, okay, equate to what you need for that day, whether it's training day or rest day, given that those two are very different. As I explained, the training day, you burn more calories, so you can consume more calories, eat a little bit more, fuel yourself a little bit more. And on the rest days is vice versa. So what this looks like is like, for example, say you have like 5 meals. Okay. 5 meals and you're eating about 3,000 calories on your training day. And then your rest day, you're eating 2,500 calories. Okay. Let's just say that that's what the deal is. So your goal would be to try to get to 3,000 calories if this is training day with the junk food by replacing one or two meals. So if the meal that you want to eat that is a junk food meal is, for example, a burger combo, which is like 800 calories, and you notice that you usually get about 400 calories per meal, what you would do is you would swap out those two meals that you would normally eat that are on your nutrition protocol with that quote unquote burger combo or the pizza or whatever is equates to those two meals in caloric value and replace it. And see what that allows you to do is it allows you to keep the foods, that junk foods that you're going to eat with your friends or the comfort foods or whatever it is, the quote unquote bad food, still in the loop. You don't have to like alienate it. You don't have to completely cut it out, but you do not also have to sacrifice your progress to an extent. And here's what I'm saying or what I mean by when I say to an extent, because if and or when you do factor in junk food meals, as I said, the macros and the calories won't be 100% accurate. So there's some kind of winging it there, but whether it's plus or minus 100 calories, if you're training consistently and you're already getting results, that won't really kill you. But the real trick here is to get the calories to match the amount of calories that you need for that day and also have whatever it is that you're using to cheat with the food or the meals that you're using to replace when it comes to junk food, have that also equate to the amount of macronutrients that are required for you to succeed in your fitness journey. And I know that might sound confusing, but I'm going to break it down for you. So, how do you what's the importance of the macronutrient here? Like if you're getting the amount of calories, like do the amount of macronutrients really matter for fat loss? The answer to that surprisingly is no. Like you could still just abide by just the calories and get whatever result that you want when it comes to fat loss. But see, in that process, you aren't going to be building enough muscle. How? Because you are not honoring the macronutrients. And here's what I mean. So 3,000 calories, where you're getting 250 grams of protein, say like 300 grams of carbs and 100 grams of fat, just random numbers. I'm not saying that that's accurate, but let's say that that's what it is, right? If your 3,000 calories is comprised of those macronutrients, and that's like when it's like all home cooked meals that are healthy for those 5 meals, then you're good. But if you factor in a junk food meal, right, and the calories still equate to the total amount that you need for that day, but you don't hit the protein or carbs or whatever goal it is, then it's not the same in terms of efficiency because you are sacrificing or compromising certain macronutrients for the sake of it fitting into your caloric requirements. And so what that means is if you are eating less protein, but you're still eating the same amount of calories, you'll burn fat, but you will not be able to retain muscle or build muscle while you burn fat. Okay. And for most people, that might not even seem like an issue. It's like, okay, cool. I don't mind losing extra muscle. But the problem with that is once you start to burn fat and drop water weight, you want to build muscle, you want to retain muscle. Why? Because having more muscle on your frame keeps your BMR, basal metabolic rate, high. And what your basal metabolic rate is, it's basically the amount of calories that you burn automatically. Like sitting here watching this Q&A, or getting up to walk to the washroom, or walking up the stairs, or if you work and on your feet walking around, you're burning calories that way, right? And if you're burning calories that way, the more muscle that you do have, the more calories will burn doing the same thing. So, for example, if I burn 50 calories just sitting here and I've got more fat and water than muscle, if I were to compare that version of me with a leaner version of myself that weighed, way less but had more muscle, I would probably burn 100 calories sitting down here. Why? Because I have more muscle. And muscle is more calorically expensive than fat. So muscle burns more calories in your body than fat does. So the more muscle you have, the more fat you'll burn. It's the reason why you got your skinny friends or your jacked friends. They can eat a fucking house. They can eat straight junk food, right? But they don't get fat because they have a lot of muscle on their body, and that muscle is burning up the calories outside of them working out in the gym, outside of them doing the cardio. Okay, so keeping your protein at least 1 gram per pound of body weight while you're cutting, I wouldn't even say it's recommended. I say it's fucking crucial. If you seriously not only want to get rid of the fat, but keep it off, right? So, in a nutshell, that's essentially how I myself, as a professional bodybuilder, and my best clients, factor in cheat meals. And that's excluding if they're going to be competing, right? But I've got another question here, actually, from Brandy Slavin says, and I appreciate you for asking, says, how do you calculate a calorie? What should you eat to lose? Okay, I like the fact that you, first of all, came up to ask a question. But what I like even more is that you asked two. So, the way that I would say, calculating a calorie deficit, look, it's not necessarily incredibly difficult, right? There's simple stuff you can do to get to the sum of calories that you'll need in order to consume to lose or gain weight, right? But there's so many fucking tools nowadays online that would make your job a lot easier. So if I had to rely on you to get a pad and a pen out and do freaking long division and math to figure out how many calories you need accurately, sure. But would you actually do it? That's the question. So the answer for most people is no, and I don't even blame you, because it's kind of tedious, and most of us don't really like math. So there are, just long story short, there are several calorie counters online that you could use, some more or less accurate than others, but they give you a general ballpark as to what you should be, or not what, but how much you should be eating in order to gain or lose fat, not even fat, but gain or lose size, based off of your age, based off of your physical activity levels, and based off of other variables. So essentially, what you want to do is go online, look for calorie counters, plug in your numbers, see what numbers it recommends you, and then try your best to hit those. And of course, they're not accurate, not 100% accurate. So when you apply them, you'll see how well they work. And based off of that, you will have the information as you're recording your progress, which you should be doing. You'll have your information, or at least enough information, to alter the amount of calories that you're consuming so that they can better suit your needs and or the speed of your progress. So what that looks like is you'll go online, you check the calorie counter, put your stats in, it'll give you this number. You try that number for a week. Maybe you lose 1 pound, maybe you lose two, maybe you gain a pound. And then you realize that, fuck, maybe, well, the height that I put in was inaccurate, or whatever it was, just the number that it recommended was inaccurate. Now that you have that information, because you track your progress, you can reduce your calories by 100 to 200 based off of wherever that is, until you start to see results. And then you stay there, right? And then so on and so forth until you get more results. But that's kind of a long process. I can't explain everything here, but then again, that's why I've got the Meathead on the Mic podcast. I've got over 160 episodes. You can definitely tune in. I definitely talk about that. So tune in there, Brandy. I've got a lot more answers to that simple question of how to calculate your calorie deficit. But the other question that I want to address from Brandy is, what should you eat to lose weight? And this sort of ties into what I was talking about just now with like factoring in junk food. So there is no like actual thing you're supposed to eat to lose weight. Like there's like pasta's not going to make you fat. Rice isn't going to make you bloat unless it does because you have IBS or whatever, uh, you know, predisposed condition that doesn't allow you to digest certain foods. The answer to that question is, the only foods that you should eat to lose weight are foods that you're A, not allergic to, B, can digest properly, and C, you actually fucking like. Okay. So You don't need to eat chicken and asparagus or cut out pasta or rice forever just because you want to lose weight. Because again, this is all a calories in versus calories out game. But even more importantly, your macronutrient profile, specifically protein, has to at least be 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight consumed daily to retain, if not gain muscle while you burn fat. Okay, so there's no magic food, there's no like magic fucking diet, like being vegan or paleo or vegetarian or keto. Like none of those things really make a difference at all. It's the calories you eat and the calories you burn in conjunction with the macronutrient profile. Okay, so what you should eat to lose weight are those things that I did say just now, right? That there's no special food, right? There's no special food that you'll eat that will just make you lose weight because it's that food. Because the way it works is all food is energy, and energy is calories, and the amount of calories that you consume versus the amount of calories you burn ultimately will dictate how much weight you will lose. And if not that, then also the amount of muscle that you'll gain. So I like that question there. Really, really, really good question. Um, Apollo the Bagel says, "Sup, what's up, bro? I appreciate the follow. Much love, homie." On TikTok, what do we got here? Taylor Caplet one says, "Hey, bud, you sound like you know a lot about this stuff. I have a question for you. Definitely shoot a question, bro. I'm gonna read another question here on Instagram while you take the time to ask me that question. I appreciate it. His name is what? Yeah, Taylor. Shout out to Taylor. Okay. Hey, Anthony, what's good? We got a nomad in the house. What's up? What's up? What's up? How you feeling, Anthony? Yes, sir. Tyson, what's good? Ashton, Graham, Ben. I see you guys here, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let us see. So, got a question from Graham. Graham says, "Don't you think the quote unquote cheat meal allows for better long-term sustainability as long as you factor somewhat accurately?" So that's one question, even though there's two question marks. And my answer to that is fucking yes, bro. That's like literally why I'm talking about it, because a lot of people will like think in order to burn fat or in order to constantly see progress, I've got to like permanently do a change and permanently do something that is going to allow me to get there. And like that's definitely right in terms of permanently adopting skills like being on track with your nutrition, permanently adopting skills like being vigilant with your health, going to the gym and not skipping. Those are the things that are the non-negotiables. But the things that you can negotiate with in order to continue getting like results is what you eat. Given that there's no magic food that's going to make you lose fat anyway, understanding that it's calories in versus calories out, right? And so if we can understand that, um, I personally believe, and definitely my clients believe this, that having the ability to eat whatever you want, but mostly eating what you're supposed to eat and keeping your protein where it's supposed to be while training hard, not skipping your training, focusing on your resting and doing everything else that you could do, it's gonna be better for the long run. Because think of it, like tell a kid, bring a kid to the candy shop and tell them that they can't have candy, right? How long can you hold them? How long could you hold their hand without them running off and trying to like just fucking grab candy? Probably not very long. So it's the same thing. Like how long can you hold yourself in that aisle and not fucking get the thing that you want to get? And then that becomes like the bitch in your brain, the negative voice in your head that convinces you to like binge because you never fucking eat or give into those cheat meals. And so if you can like factor them in every now and again, that craving really doesn't build up that high. So not only will you have more control over your cravings, but you'll be able to factor them in, which won't make you feel like you're alienating them in the first place, which is a way better fucking recipe for long-term sustainability. Understanding that you're not going to fucking cut out a burgers and fries and pizza and wings and donuts and pies and cakes and muffins and cupcakes for the rest of your entire life just because you want to lose 30 pounds. It doesn't work that way. Even if you think you're that dedicated, I promise you, you're not. Because I'm a pro bodybuilder and I'm not. Okay. I'm never going to get rid of my sweet tooth, my pizza love, or any of that shit. Neither should you. So that's a wonderful question. I love that, Graham. Ashton asked a question here. Says, how can I get rid of shoulder and elbow pain on bench? That's a good question. I got another question here too from Taylor. So you know what I'll do? I'll answer Taylor's question since he was being patient and he asked first, and then I'll get back to you, Ashton. So Taylor says, "Hey, did a 3 week cut was 215 down to 186, going 180 for going 180 for your goal. So your goal weight's 180 or 186 now, down from 215. What do you think? That's enough for abs?" So okay, first of all, thank you for sharing that with us, bruh. And congratulations on like losing 30 pounds. That's big, okay? But there are a lot more other questions that I think I'm gonna ask you in order to get sort of like a rough idea as to like what might be enough for you to drop in order to see abs. And those two questions are, bro, is how tall are you? Okay. Just let me know how tall you are. And how long have you been training? Okay. How tall are you? How long have you been training? Because those are the two things that I'd like to know before I give you sort of an insight as to like how much weight you might need to lose in order to see your abs. So answer that for me. I'm going to answer Ashton, but he says 5'7". So he's quick. You're here, man. I appreciate it. He's 5'7". And how long have you been in the gym, Taylor? Year and a half. Okay, cool. So you're about 5'7". So 5'7", 215, it's quite big. Right? And even though you lost 30 pounds, you should be not really big. 186 at 5'7" is, it's close to a healthy weight. You're not even close to really being obese at all. And if you want 180 and you think that, you can actually achieve that, I think you might start to see abs at 180, but you won't really have them until you hit like 150, 160. And I know that sounds hard to hear, but the way it works is like we have a certain amount of muscle mass, a certain amount of fat and water, and based off of like the years that we're training and accumulating muscle and like the amount of fat, muscle, and water ratio that we have, the amount of weight that we would need to lose in order to achieve a certain look varies for everybody. So if you are mostly fat and water, even at 186 after losing 30 pounds, then you are likely going to start to see abs another 20 pounds from here. So maybe at 165, 160, you'll definitely have abs. And that's the honest truth. It's not going to be a walk in the park, but you already know that, bro. You already lost 30 pounds. Congratulations on that. If you have any questions, I'm still here for you, Taylor. Graham says, thanks, GOAT. You're so right. I appreciate you, Graham. You know what it do, bro. Yeah, dude, literally. Anthony's like fucking 186, huge at 5'7". That's one of my clients here. He's telling, but he's different because he's been training for several years and he's got mostly muscle compared to the fat and water ratio. So he already has abs at like freaking his weight, and he even had mild abs at his heavier weight at 185. But it's different for everybody because again, the amount of muscle to fat to water ratio varies, and that's the ultimate. The amount of skeletal muscle you have is the ultimate predetermining precursor, whatever we'll say, that's gonna like tell you how close or far you are from being conditioned. So yeah, and he's the same height. Anthony here is the same height as you, Taylor. He's one of my clients. So don't be discouraged there. But I'm gonna get to Ashton and look at some other questions here. Still drop your questions, guys. Drop your questions. I know we're here on the hour, but drop your questions. I'll see if I can help you out. Ashton says, "How can I get rid of shoulder and elbow pain on bench?" So, and this is something that I want everybody that is new to the gym to listen to. And even if you're like an intermediate or an advanced lifter, this is something you should really fucking listen up to. So, if you're noticing any kind of pain in your body as you're lifting, like in general, and when I say pain, I'm not talking about soreness. I'm not talking about like, oh, my muscles are burning. That's you want that. But if we're talking about like joint pain, bone pain, and cartilage pain, and all that stuff, all that kind of discomfort, the first thing I want to ask you is, do you actually have gym equipment? Do you have gym equipment? And it sounds, and again, this is something I said even for intermediate and advanced lifters, and they're gonna roll their eyes at me, might even call me a bitch. But the thing is, if you train without equipment, you're first of all putting yourself closer to harm's way. Not saying that you need to be geared up like a fucking juggernaut every time you go to the gym, but it does help to have wrist wraps. It does help to have straps. It does help to have elbow sleeves. It does help to have knee sleeves, even if you are not injured. Because why? An ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. And so, if that's the case, if that's true, then we can be more vigilant and be more preventative instead of reactive. And that means we can wear elbow sleeves and wrist wraps and stuff like that when we need them so that we can, lift safely and like, be very careful with the elbow pains. Because if you train consistently without that shit and you continue to ignore it, injuries just around the corner. Right. So again, understanding that you probably don't have the equipment and you got to the point where you have pain in the first place, the very first thing I'll tell you is stay away or at least limit the amount of compound movements that you do for whatever respective muscle group or area that you feel pain in. So, for example, for you, Ashton, it would be bench press. I'd scrap it. I wouldn't bench as long as I feel that pain. And I would replace it with more isolating workouts that are more machine oriented or even dumbbell. But even dumbbell, even though it's a little bit more isolated, it could still be a little even more dangerous because of the pain that you do have and that it's free weight. So I would actually lean away not only from compounds, but from free weights a little bit until I strengthen up the stabilizing muscles and the general muscle itself. and or just move the joint enough to feel no pain or little pain or reduce pain, and then reintroduce, the compounds or the free weights slowly, right? And starting from scratch, right? And that's another thing too. If you guys jump up too high too quickly with the weights that you lift, you're gonna feel pain that you don't need to feel in terms of your shoulder pain and all that stuff. And also, going on the machines and working on your time under tension, quality of your reps is not only going to benefit you and give you a better looking physique, but lifting safer is going to keep you in the gym longer, which is going to make your physique better over a longer period of time. And on top of that, again, just be vigilant with your stretching too. I know a lot of people, especially the young guys, do not fucking stretch. Even if they wear equipment, they don't stretch, and you're gonna get fucking injured. Okay, so start stretching, right? And also for the elbow sleeves and knee sleeves, keeping them on during your workout is really, really important because it can keep your joints warmer. And the warmer your joints are, the safer and more protected you are from injury. So don't even fear looking like a bitch. Just wear your elbow sleeves, wear your wrist wraps. Don't depend on it. Don't depend on your belt and all that stuff. But like have it there so that you give yourself the safest bet. Like I'm a pro bodybuilder. I still lift with wrist wraps and I use straps and I use elbow sleeves and knee wraps and all that stuff just so I can really play with the reps that I get, especially when I lift heavy and not worry about not having a spotter all the time. So definitely make that investment, get gym equipment, stretch more, listen to your body more, lean towards more machines than free weights and or compounds for a moment until you sort of regain that strength back. And if you do all those things and you still kind of feel smoked, my brother, it's your turn to go to the physio and get yourself checked in, checked out, and make sure that everything's cool. Get an x-ray if you must. All right. But that's my answer for you, bro. Hellfireman 420 says, "Preach, LOL." Yo, Mario, what's good? I see you. It's a me, a Mario. I see you, bro. I see you there on YouTube. Much love, bro. All right. So Graham says, I'm 158 at 5'10, probably around 16 to 20% body fat. When do I get abs? So I know Graham was personally 60% on your end because even if you think we know body fat percentages, we don't. And that's for me included. They're always going to be a guess. Even if you do the most accurate testing, you'll just never know 100%. So, but for someone like you, 158 at 5'10, bro, you already have abs if you flex hard enough because 5'10, 158 is quite thin, right? So I know what you're laughing there with that. You're definitely trolling me. But yeah, you're not too far away from abs if you're 158 at 5'10. Not too far at all. Ashton, what's up? Ashton says, yes. Should I wear elbow sleeves? Because I blurred that out. Should I wear elbow sleeves? Because I don't right now. Okay, that's great. Great. Thank you very much. Yeah, so you got the gist of it. So all the equipment that you don't have, grab it. It's better safe than sorry. Keep your joints warm throughout your lifts and stretch like with intention. Whether it's before or after your lift. I know people say do it before and some people say after, but just fucking stretch. It's better than not stretching. That's gonna help you out with your joints there, bro. E. Sanchez says, "How do you grow your legs, not quads or hamstrings?" What do you mean by that, bro? That's an interesting question because your legs are your hamstrings, your quads, your abductors, your adductors, your glutes, hip flexors, your calves, your tib, all that stuff. So, what is it specifically that you want to grow on your legs, Mr. Sanchez? Mario says, "Why did you come into Mario World and steal all of my coins? You even take a Yoshi and make him do the dog fight." Yeah, man. Nintendo boy. I see you, Mario. Much love, bro. Tell Luigi I said what's up. Tell Princess Peach I said I'm coming. Graham, he says, got the obliques going, but gonna send progress pics soon times. Hell yeah, bro. Shoot me up. I want to see what you're doing. I want to see what you're dealing with, man. Let's see that progress, bro. Taylor on TikTok says, I feel small. Would like to stay 215 with abs. That's crazy, dude. 215 with abs. Like I'm 215 with abs, and I'm a pro bodybuilder. And I'm not saying that to like make it so like, oh, it's impossible. No, it's super fucking possible. Like I'm a natural bodybuilder, and maybe not super possible because I do have like good genetics, but 215 with abs is not fucking easy, bro. If you just got to 186 and you don't have abs, for you to get to 215 and have abs, if you trained like really, really hard as you could, and were really sharp with your nutrition and like had me as your coach for like 3 years, you might not even get there. And I'm not saying that to discourage you, but I'm giving you like a realistic point of view, right? Like 215 with abs is massive, bro. It's huge. It's like that's probably what you want to achieve for the rest of your life. And I appreciate that. But it will take you at least 5+ years to get to, especially if you've only got a year and a half of training under your belt. And even 5 years is premature to say that, assuming you're natural, right? Like if you are natural, it took me 10 years to get here naturally. And I have good genetics. I don't know what your genetics are like, bro, but I'm gonna tell you 100%. I will never lie to you, especially if you're gonna come on this on the show here and you like really want like a real fucking answer, like no social media bullshit. Like I'm gonna tell you, bro, get to 215 with naturally for most people isn't even possible. But if you do get there naturally, it's possible, but with like 10 years plus of like being fucking consistent. So that's some food for thought, Taylor. And I appreciate the follow. Definitely continue to follow. If you're not already aware, we do have a podcast called the Meathead on the Mic podcast where we've got over 160 episodes. I think we're at number 167. And I talk about so many topics, this being one of them. So you might want to tune in. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts. So that's Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's in my bio on Instagram if you want to tune in and support the podcast or get some extra free info. So appreciate you, Taylor. Thank you for that. Mario is angry. Are you killing me, dog? I don't know who you are on YouTube, but you're making my day, bro. Shout out to you. Got another question here. Oh no, I'm going to answer Mr. Sanchez. So he says like the shin or ankle area. So first things first, bro, there really isn't muscle around the shin or ankle area. Like the ankle really is just like ligaments. The shin, you do have I fucking forgot the name of it. Excuse me. But there is a muscle. If you lift your feet up like this, right? So this is my calf. Say this is my calf. I lift my feet up like this. This is the back of the calf. This is the front of my calf. These are my toes. This muscle you're talking about, right? So that muscle can be trained, but it's not like you can really get it super swole. What I would recommend for that, since it's something that's usually untrained, is that first of all, stretch it often. Because if you train it without stretching, you're just gonna fuck yourself up. So make sure you have good mobility with your ankles before you train your shins. But I would recommend something that's high volume because you're always gonna be on your feet all the time, fucking like anyway, right? So in order for you to stimulate your shin or your calves or even your legs, any muscle group that is below your waist, you're gonna have to do quite a bit of volume. I'd recommend, and this is gonna sound crazy, but if you really want to grow your calves, 100 reps a day, man, keeps the doctor away. Okay, and if we're talking shins, you might not be able to actually do that much, but the whole point is like using a lighter weight so that you can actually contract it because that muscle alone is just very you can't really like grow it much. Like if it grows, it will barely grow, right? And I'm not saying that to like shoot you down, but it's like just not a muscle that really grows unless you have those calf freaking genetics and you already have a big shin muscles, right? So that's some food for thought for you, bro. But I appreciate you asking the question. Homie says Stairmaster. Fuck yeah. Stairmaster and your tiptoes on the end. Hell yeah. With no handlebars. That'll get you some calves. That'll get you some shins. That's for sure. Shout out to Anthony, the client there, Mr. Athlete. Yeah, he's definitely fucking eating food. Hellfireman 420 says, how do you beat a fast metabolism? Because I basically been the same weight since high school. So I like that question, mainly because I thought I was the guy that would eat a lot until I realized I wasn't fucking eating at all. So I got a really fast metabolism too. I grew up a skinny kid. And bro, like you don't really beat fast metabolism. I think it's a great problem to have, to be able to metabolize foods quickly because that means you can eat a fuck ton. And if you can eat a fuck ton, you can grow quick, right? So coming up from being skinny is not as bad as you think. And the only way to beat a fast metabolism is to eat more, literally. And as much as you think you're eating to grow, you're not eating enough. And I'm telling you that because in high school, I was exactly like you. I'm like, oh, I'm so full. Oh my God, I ate so much food, drank so much water. Why aren't I growing? And then when I finally learned that you got to count calories, I realized I was fucking eating like 800 to 1,000 calories less than I was supposed to eat in order to grow in the first place. So my first thing to you, bro, I understand that you're young, is if you think that you can't beat your fast metabolism and you think that it's holding you back from growing muscle, start counting your calories and then come back to me and we'll have the same conversation. Yeah? All love, though. I appreciate you asking the question. No question is a stupid question. Remember that, y'all. Remember that. Yo, Andy, what's good? Andy, what's good? I see some of my boys from high school tuning in here too. Ben says, LMFAO 100 reps a day keeps the doctor away. That's natural nomad Ben Pullen. He's literally like 9 weeks out from his very first show where I know he's gonna fucking go and smoke. I was talking to another head coach. I'm gonna keep it quiet because I just came off of the air with Leroy Rollins on behalf of Natty News Daily, and he interviewed me, and we talked a little bit about what I'm going to be doing in my pro career and stuff like that. And yeah, so people are looking out for you, Ben. You're definitely turning heads. But yeah, 100 reps a day for the calves at least keeps the doctor away because you're never really going to stimulate them unless you're training them with high volume and like each and every single rep is intentional. It's like really you're grinding, full stretch, full squeeze, and you're taking your time in between. And Ben knows that because he's the literally the product of that. And I know Anthony knows that because he's also a product of that, right? His calves, bro, them be some stubborn motherfuckers. Mr. Sanchez says, fucking bet. Hell yeah, man. Do something with this information. Don't just ask it. Love it. Ruda Patel, what is up? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much. Big Tony says, facts. Until working with Matt and tracking shit, you're never even close. Y'all listen up. 1000p, listen to him. Product of the fucking of the protocol right here. Okay, thank you, sir. Hellfireman 420. Appreciate you, dog. Thanks for asking. I appreciate y'all. Good luck, Ben. Bro, good luck to Ben's competition. I swear to God. Ben's not the problem here. Don't be worried about Ben. Don't be. That's unfair. Give that luck to somebody else who needs it. Got some questions here from the story. So, homie asks, so questions from the story got hearts. Okay, this is homie. Can I build muscle on a fruitarian diet? So she's trolling me. That's homegirl. So it's just funny. Let's see here. Let's see. Cool. What are your thoughts on pre-workout? I love this question because, like myself, I don't really care about pre-workout, and here's why. The reason why I don't care that much about pre-workout is because, like, what am I getting out of pre-workout when I take it? People are looking for energy, right? You want to take the pre-workout and get energy so you can go and train really fucking hard, raise hell and barbells and shit. But the reason why I don't put so much of a focal point on it anymore, at least compared to my earlier training days, is because I realized like it's not the pre-workout itself that gives you the energy. Mainly it's the caffeine. So when I realized that, I just looked at the drawing board and I said, well, like these guys are marking up prices for pre-workout and I'm mainly just getting it for caffeine. So I could either just get espresso shots because I'm doing this for caffeine, right? Espresso shots or caffeine pills, which both are equally cheaper alternatives, right? And so when I noticed that, I'm like, fuck buying this $60 pre-workout that's going to last me a month when I can spend $10 on like 400 tabs of extra strength caffeine pills, and I could just take those. First of all, they ingest quicker, they hit quicker, and on top of that, they give me just what I need, which is just the caffeine. And so, if we're looking at the rest of the matrix or what composes like pre workouts, yes, there's also a benefit to them having some certain amino acids in there that will help with performance in the gym and things like that, and the pump and like, other supplements like citrulline, like valine and stuff like that. But I personally prefer to make my own concoction of essential amino acids and just other supplements because I get to control the portion that I get to take and I get to upscale the dosages of whatever pump supplements that I take, and it gives me a lot more control. As to like what I'm getting out of whatever supplement I'm getting, as opposed to like trusting a company to put all the things in there for me, and they might not even be the exact measurement because they cut it up so they can make extra dough on that. Like we know how it works. But I'd rather have much more control, order all the supplements separately, create my own concoction with my own custom dosages based off of my needs and what works for me, and then I'll have my caffeine on the side. So I actually make my own pre-workout. I don't actually take it. I used to earlier on, but I realized like you could just get a fucking monster drink and be good with your supplements and you'll save a whole shit ton of money and get even better results for like a fraction of the price. Right. So that's my take on pre-workout. Now you know. That's it. Looks like we're out of questions. That was pretty dope. Where are we? Like 40 minutes. Beautiful, man. Taylor, I appreciate the follow. Homie says, my brother, he's from high school, my dog from high school. Shout out to you, homie. He says, yeah, the caffeine content's pretty small in most pre-workouts. Other supplements, what other supplements are you using to make your own pre-workout? So like this list varies, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys and like not lie to you, but I'm not gonna like not tell you, but I'm also not gonna tell you because that's super fucking secret in terms of my super secret natty recipe for supplements. And all of my clients get access to it. And they have their own specific like supplement routine that they do take based off of their needs. And even for myself, it's based off of my needs. So even me telling you all the supplements that I take might not even be super beneficial for you because you don't have as much muscle as me, or you don't train the same as me, or like whatever variables might exist. But I'll give you the key supplements. I won't give you all of them. First of all, yes, I am still natural because that made it sound super fucking shady. Yes, I am still natural, but the main supplements that I use when I'm creating my like pre-workout matrix, my custom pre-workout is citrulline for the pump, beta alanine for the pump, valine or isovaline for the pump. I would use creatine, of course, for the biovolumization, increase in ATP, larger muscles. Like, come on, creatine, bro, right? I would also put in what's that? Fucking hell. I'm forgetting that. Well, I would have EAAs in a separate, like I would get EAAs themselves separately, and then I'll also put that in. I would supplement with potassium iodine drops and mix that up in there. I would also be putting in some salt, and this is like what I would do pre-workout. Put in some salt down the hatch for better muscle function pre-workout, and of course for balancing of electrolytes so that I can actually stay hydrated with all the water I drink. But those are the core few. I know there's at least one that's a part of the core few that I'm missing. Aside from the rest of the supplements, like the micronutrients and like the fish oils and stuff like that. But that's pretty much for the most part what it is: citrulline, beta alanine, valine, creatine, potassium iodine drops, and some salt. That's how I do it. LOL, you need to send me this recipe ASAP. Don't worry, bro. It's not gonna work for you just yet. When we're on the corner and we're seeing fucking dick skin, oh, we're gonna floor it, dog. We're gonna floor it. They're gonna be asking you for the piss test before you get on stage, baby. Mino, what's up? Shout out to Ben for real, man. He's a hustler. He's a hustler. William, what's good? William says, "Do you work out on something?" All jokes. Much love, William. I see you, bruh. I see you, fam. King Farrah says, "You still barbell squat?" Bro, unfortunately, yes. And that's because I love it. And I know it's for me, even I know now it's not the most optimal movement. In the years of me like lifting, within the last 2 years, I've noticed that I haven't really been getting much like physique progress per se off of barbell squatting, but it is one of my heaviest lifts, and I always love lifting heavy, right? So I keep it in as long as it's not hurting me, right? It's still helping me in terms of making me progress, but just not as much as before. But then I'll change all the other workouts so that I can still make extra progress. But yes, I still do barbell squat, and if you're asking, the way that I barbell squat is pretty simple, and I love this way. I always get my clients to do it this way. I usually do just 4 sets. I'll do like one set of one plate, 20 reps. Second set, 2 plates, 15 to 20. Third, I'll do 12 to 3 plates for 12 to 15. And then I'll finish off at 4 plates for like literally, if I have it in the tank, 3 to 5 or even 8 reps on a really good day. I'll do 10 reps. If I'm like sniffing ammonia, I'll do 10 reps. But that's like those four would be like my staple. And then I repeat the same rep layout with my barbell RDLs with the same weights: 1 plate, 2 plate, 3 plate, 4 plate, high reps. That's it. So yes, I still barbell squat, unfortunately. But hey, man, it is what it is, bro. I love it. It's not very popular anymore. More people are like dodging squatting, bro. Bro says, I've been experimenting with Smith machine squats. Honestly, it's solid, but I love barbell squats, dude. 100%. Smith machine squats have their place in my heart too, especially when I'm getting ready for a show and I just fucking can't lift that much. Or if I'm looking for like isolation in a certain area, definitely. Even front squats, because I still front squat as well. But yeah, man, there's nothing that beats that barbell, man. There's nothing, especially when you're squatting. Yep, it's a pyramid, but I'll only build up to the pyramid. I wouldn't build back down. Finish top set super strong with as many reps as I can, just to keep some energy in the tank for the next workout, which is another compound back to back, and it's RDLs and it's fucking heavy. So I don't go more than 4 sets for the squat there, bro. But I appreciate you for asking. All right, folks, I'm gonna give y'all another fuck. If I don't see a question in 1 minute, then we're wrapping up. I'm giving y'all 1 minute. If you got a question, ask it. Take advantage of IFBB Pro Map Brutality. Pick my brain. I got something for you. Let's do it. Sick. So we got one question here of from homie, Mr. King Ferras. He says weekly workout split. And my answer to that is I've talked about this quite a bit. I've actually made a couple of TikToks on it, even, but like in snippets. Whew, let's break it down. So a really good week, or like just my split, um, is so I it's very, very linear. I train legs Monday, Thursday, back unless my schedule shift around, but like Monday, Thursday legs, back would be Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday would be chest as well as Saturday. So 6 days on, 1 day off. Unless I'm taking extra rest days off, then I would like, of course, mitigate which workouts I'm choosing not to do based off of how much how strong they are or how weak they are in terms of like strong points and weak points. But that's pretty much my split. But even better, what I can do for you, brother, is if you go to my Instagram after, first of all, I appreciate the follow, homie. If you go, yeah, modified PPL. But dude, everything's PPL. Everything's literally the same workout. It's like every workout is a workout that someone's done before, right? So, unless you're training with like gym equipment that was just invented yesterday. But anyway, hit me up on the gram. I'll basically shoot you a PDF of the workout split that I use to earn my IFBB Pro card naturally. And I'll just give that to you for free, man. Just because you tuned in here, you decided to support, I'll throw that at you. If you're fucking man enough, you can actually do the workout. And yes, I'm saying that to piss you off, but yes, I'm also saying that to motivate you. So if you want it, I'll give you that free ebook. I'll let you know what it is. You get to scan through it and see exactly what I did to get my pro card in terms of the training. But outside of that, brother, thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks for asking. Anthony says, "What's your go-to dessert?" Yo, bro, man. Like, I don't even think I have a sweet tooth, but the desserts I like, man, I love apple pie. I know you love cream pies. I'm just joking. I love apple pie. I love my favorite cake is like red velvet cake. Fucking what else here, bro? I know I'm forgetting shit. Ooh, carrot cake slaps, bro. I love carrot cake. Oh, banana bread is a motherfucker. Shit. I don't really like ice cream that much. I like it, but it's like I wouldn't go crazy for it. Like I would never ask for it. But if I really had to rank it up, it's apple pie, red velvet cake, and freaking banana bread, dude. Those three have my heart. He's laughing. Yeah, I know you like cream pies, bro. Homie says, appreciate you. Thanks for the knowledge. Much fucking love, homie. Anytime. Says, I'm an ex-football player. I can handle it. Don't worry. Yo, shout out to you, man. I used to play football too, but I'm not gonna pump my tires and say that I was any good. I only played in high school. I was started off on corner, and by the time I was done, I was inside, outside linebacker, defense. Ooh, shepherd's pie. I love shepherd's pie, but it's not a dessert. Yeah, I love shepherd's pie, bro. Without pork though, because I'm Muslim. I don't eat pork. But yeah, man, definitely. Yo, shoot me a message there on Instagram. Go into my bio on TikTok. Just let me know it's you, and bro, it's yours. It's yours, bro. He says, bro, when's my carb up? Man's be dying, bro. You're looking too good right now. I think I really want to push it a little bit. You've noticed too, eh? I'm like on the edge. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna eat, but like, one thing that's promised though is that you will be eating up well on fucking Saturday, as deserved. Like that's just promised. But the overall change, you're looking too good right now. I want to see how far we can push this. So bear with me, doc. uh Bro says defense always. I played middle linebacker, then switched to defense tackle. Now that I'm done with that, I'm trying to cut down for yeah, definitely cut back down for sure. Definitely. I mean, if you're not, you don't need all that tissue, right? You're not on the line. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. But definitely, man, I got that for you. I got that. What's it called? I got that. What you need. Okay, and it's 100% free. It's an ebook. You can have it to shoot me a DM. All right, people. That is it. That is all. I had a fucking blast. I don't know about y'all, but I had a fucking blast today. Like this is pretty cool. I'm gonna do more of these. This is the second one we did this week. Normally, I'll just do like podcast episodes and then try to answer questions at the end. But this is really interesting to see you guys, tune in here and ask the questions that you really want answers to. I love it. I fucking love it. All right, people. That is it. That is all. We'll be chatting again soon. I know we'll see you again tomorrow. If you're a real one, you'll be here tomorrow. With that said, hope you guys and girls have the best motherfucking day or night of your life, wherever you are. IFBB Pro, Matt Butale signing out.